So as I'm looking at this, you will see that I now have a pretty good layout. I'm still a little bit high on the main content area, so I'm going to change my height value. Again, this is caused by the padding. When I add padding to a div, it will automatically expand the size. So even though it says 400, it's actually 420. So to actually make this 420 with 10 pixel padding all the way around, I need to resize this down to the height down to 380. So there you go. Finally, I've got a nice layout here. Looks like I have a little extra on the side there. Okay, so again, just to reiterate, my left nav bar area was created. If I select that, go over to my styles, it is a float left with a padding of 10 pixels all the way around and a width and a height 380 by 130, which actually gives me 400 by 150. This, the main content area, which is where, of course, I have my main content. We may have a subheader here. And we'll give that an H2 value, and so forth and so on. So we have this issue right there. Now the last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put a footer at the very end. So after, now remember, I have my nav, my main, both of these are inside my div content. Now the next one, the footer, is going to go outside. So make sure in my div area that you get the cursor correctly. This should be between your last div close tag and the second to the last. It's in between here. That's going to put it in this area right in here. So insert, layout objects, div tag. This is going to be my footer. New CSS rule. And this one we're just going to go ahead. I'm going to actually put my transparent, oops, not color, not going to put a color in there. I'm going to put my transparent PNG so it kind of matches the top. And my width is going to be 100%. I'm going to put some padding in there. Let's give it a, I'm going to give it a 5 pixel padding in there. And my content, and what else do I need here? With my height is going to be, let's give it 50. I may have to change that. We'll see in just a minute. And I'm going to go ahead and just leave it at that. And as you can see, it goes, the boundary goes beyond. It's hard to grab that thing. The boundary goes beyond, again, because of my padding here, so I have to adjust the height. I do this a lot with styles. I'm going to adjust the padding to be the height to be, let's say, 30. 30 seems like a round number. That's too much. Let's try 35. There. And then my width, percentages don't seem to work for this, and I think that's what happened up here as well. Let's go with the fixed widths, so we can make sure we get this correctly. Now that's 850, and remember I had a padding value which is not working terribly well for that matter. So let me grab the footer. I did a 5 pixel 100%. So instead of 100% width, what I'm going to do is, since my outer div is 850 and I took a 5 pixel, I'm going to go ahead and do 840 pixels for that and see if that clears up that issue, which I think it does. I'm going to go back up here to my header because I just noticed that it's the same problem. Let's get rid of that 100%. And this one's a 10 pixel padding, so I'm going to do 830. Oops. 830 pixels. And that takes care of that problem as well. So there you have it. There's my layout. Now, I did want to draw your attention to one little thing. Notice that I have the float values on the navigation and the main content area. To be able to get these side by side, I have to put a float in, and what a float does is it sort of takes away the presence of the object. I know that doesn't make a lot of sense, but let me take out, remember sort of back when I created my content div, I put an overflow equals auto. Now watch what happens when I take that overflow equals auto out. My footer just disappears. And the reason being, let me see if I can actually find that. No, you can't. It kind of goes off into purgatory somewhere. And the reason being is because I put a float on these two values here, which then took away their actual presence, so to speak. By adding in the content div, let me put that back in again. Under positioning, overflow equals auto. And there's my footer again. What that does is that creates a presence of a block here. And then that allows this footer now to exist below these two objects that are floated to the left. That's a style problem. Styles have a lot of gotchas. That's one of the major ones right there. And that's the fix for it, is overflow equals auto in the container where the two floating objects are. So bear that in mind as you go along in creating your layout.